Asking, "What's an interview guide?"
Right. Okay, let's do the on-time drawing. And tonight's winner is
Asking, "What's an interview guide?"
Sharon Taylor. Right. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do the on-time drawing. And tonight, okay, I flicked that off. Sharon, you are one of the luckiest people I know. So congratulations. But our secret sister is watching our Mary Kay image, as we are for the second year in a row, the world's direct sales #1 skincare and color. Isn't that incredible? I mean, that is huge. So while we're waiting on our special guest, who has something that they want to unlock the meeting with? Oh, here she comes. I think she's here. And we'll do that. Hey, are you on? Hey,
Yes, can you hear me,
Emily.
Nikki?
I
Hi.
can. Can you
Sorry, I
hear
had a little bit of
us?
trouble getting on Zoom.
That's okay. Yeah, we'll do the phone number thing. And I'm going to kick you off first because I know you've got practice. And I wish y'all
Okay.
could see her beautiful face. But she is not able to do that, but I'll share a picture with you. I know Jessica Lease, of course, knows you, but nobody else does. And Emily is one of my friends I've known her my whole life. She we were in high school together. We ran track and cross country together. And when I think of Emily, just knowing her my whole life, I think of definitely a champion and a woman of excellence because whatever she does, she gives it her best. Her dad's a farmer, so she was raised on a farm, and she has the most amazing Christian parents. And Emily's just a hard worker. She's got amazing work ethic. She's an incredible mom and wife, and she serves the community. She's a science teacher at Sweetwater High School. And Emily, she was a record breaker in high school in her running. I mean, she got to go to state, and of course, she's kept it up her whole life. And she has ran many, many Boston marathons, not one, but many. I'm not sure how many, Emily, and she's
Well,
humble.
I wouldn't say many, but 5. I've done 13 marathons, but 5 of them were Boston's. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So get your pen and paper out because Emily, I mean, I told her Mary Kay's a Christian company and we talk about the Lord all the time, and you're free, to talk about how God's helped you in your races or whatever. But I know you've got a lot of wisdom with all your experience. So, Emily, take it away. We are so blessed and thankful to have you share. And we can't wait to learn from you. So, thank you, my friend.
All right. Well, thank y'all for having me talk to you tonight. And I mean, some of this stuff is just kind of generic, but it just goes with, running in general or doing sports or having a business. So I was just, kind of writing some notes about my experience and stuff. And running a marathon or training to run, a relative fast time in a race kind of takes a lot of hard work. So you got to make sacrifices, with your time most days and sometimes your family's time, with your diet, the effort that you're putting in, to be able to push yourself sometimes through painful workouts. You got to be mentally tough when things get hard to push through and be able to reap the rewards of an improvement in your time, your finishing place, your business, whatever it may be. And, having to run a few marathons, when you get to the end of the marathon, that's 26.2 miles, you've run maybe 18 miles of the race or 20 or 22 miles, whatever. You might feel awful a lot of the time. Your legs are screaming at you to stop. And at that point, you're thinking, why did I do this? But, if you want to accomplish the goal that you set of finishing the marathon, running a particular time for the race, whatever your goal is, you would try to ignore those thoughts and think instead of all the work that you put in to get to that point. And, it's, about most people probably do about 4 months of training for a marathon. And, you think of all those miles you put in and the, maybe bad weather, the hot heat, the driving rain or the cold weather, whatever it might be, and all the miles you've run. And you think about that to help motivate you through those hard times toward the end of the race. and push through as best you can to achieve your goal. And two, I like to tell my athletes this sometimes, that, you know, pain we view as a negative thing a whole lot of the time. But when you're training, if it's not a bad thing, like your knees hurt or something like that, the pain of effort that you're putting in, you know, you kind of need to think of that in positive terms to help change the way we think about pain and turn it around and use it to our advantage as you train. That the pain that you're putting in is going into making you a stronger, faster runner, tougher runner. That's going to make you a better runner. So I think that's a weird thing to try to flip, because as humans, we think of pain as being a bad thing, or challenges as being bad in some ways. So I think positive thinking is huge. The mental part of training and racing, and being able to train well and run the times that you want to run. And, you know, just as you're going through, you know, the years of running, and you kind of take setting a goal, working toward it incrementally, putting the work in, you know, day after day, and being confident in the preparation that you've done and the experience that you have, that you're capable and ready to achieve the goal when the time comes, you know, for the race or whatever it might be. And, you know, Nikki was talking about, you know, God and his role obviously in our lives. And I think prayer throughout the whole process, and actual events like a race or whatever, hard times, whatever it might be, and trusting God to carry you through when you're struggling is probably far more powerful than we can realize. And two, I think, you know, I think of my dad. My mom's a huge supporter of me also, and she'd be yelling across the cross-country courses when I was growing up. But I think of my dad a lot too, and he would be running through the course. He was always there at all my meets. And just knowing that you've got somebody supporting you from the other side, to me, is huge. And so your family, your support system, friends, whatever, your coaches. But then thinking too, you know, just going throughout your life, and you think of the Bible verse that's talking about the great cloud of witnesses. I don't know that this applies here necessarily, but, you know, just thinking of God on your side and how strong he is. And, you know, if you're his child, he's funneling that to us, I think, and we can use that, you know, in our hard times that we have. And some days when you're racing or you're running a workout or whatever, you're unable to do it the way that you wanted to, but a lot of times you can do it, and you're successful if you put the work in. The goals are going to come to you. And, you know, in running, you have setbacks like injuries sometimes, or dips in your motivation, or getting in some other type of hindering headspace that can slow your momentum, whether it be stress, negativity, self-doubt, you know, whatever. But the big goals that we have in life, like running a marathon, running the best time in a race, raising children, having a successful marriage or any deep relationship, building a thriving business. You know, I don't have experience with that, but I'm sure it's worth the hard work and the daily grind that you have to do. And sometimes, you know, it's maybe boring, monotonous stuff that you do day in and day out. But if you want to achieve that goal, it's worth it to do that stuff every day. I heard the UT cross-country coach speak a couple times recently, and he said he tells his team, we do boring well. And, you know, he's just saying, like, going out every day and running 6-10 miles, you know, whatever it is, just putting in that mileage is not always exciting, and it's boring a lot of the time. But, you know that every time you're doing that, you're putting money in the bank that you're going to cash in later to be a faster runner, to win races, you know, whatever it might be. So for me, it's exciting and fulfilling to achieve a goal that I've set for myself in an arena that I'm passionate about. And, you know, when I do well, you know, that helps to further motivate me in future endeavors that I have in running or whatever it might be. So that's about all I had, Nikki.
That's incredible. And everything you said, Emily, relates to our business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We talk about the process and how it's boring, but the process is what brings the results. And just so many nuggets you shared goes hand in hand with our business. So, yeah, girls. And Jessica Lease, do you want to say something? Because you know Emily well too.
Oh gosh, yes. Thank you so much, Emily, for spending your time to share with us, because I think it's always great to, get these object lessons from things that are separate from what we're doing, because I'm drawing correlations. And when you said that, I took a half page of notes here, but when she said we do boring well, it's like putting money in the bank, right? It reminds me of everybody celebrates you at the finish line, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's the work you did in private, in your practice, in going out. I also heard you say about the circumstances don't matter, because when you're training for a marathon, it's like you got 4 months. It doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's, hot, it doesn't matter. You've got to go out regardless of the circumstance and be true to yourself. And then the win at the finish line is not just that one day. It's built on all those collective efforts you made. So thank you for giving us that example of a champion for sure.
Sure. Yeah. I appreciate y'all inviting me to speak.
Thank you, Emily. We know you're busy and we appreciate you hopping on. So thank you.
Okay.
All
Hope
right.
y'all have a good rest of your meeting.
You
All right.
too.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Bye.
Wasn't that good, y'all? Oh my word. So much of it. Sports relate to business, the race, all of that. Anybody have a thought, an aha? To me, when she said we do boring well, would be a bubble sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bubble sheets are boring, but it's like running in the rain or in a thunderstorm. She did it. I've seen her run in every weather you can imagine. I've seen Emily run through Sweetwater when feels like 110 degrees. And she's a beast, y'all. She is mentally tough, but she had to start and build up to it, start somewhere. So, oh my word. Anybody have a thought?
I just think all of the preliminaries, good, bad, happy, sad, boring, exciting, whatever, when it comes down to that moment of crossing the finish line, it just culminates everything. And it's not like somebody handed it to you. There's a sense of self-pride because you worked for it. You trained for it. You prepared for it. And it's very fulfilling, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you, Sharon. Anybody else?
I think of it in relation to the Olympics. I went through several videos today just trying to find, something that was applicable, but how do you even pick? They're all amazing. But what I got from what she shared, and, meanwhile, it's really funny because my Facebook feed is like, Olympics videos and Mary Kay seminar, which is basically the Olympics of Mary Kay, right? And we do those every year. And it's like, the queens you see with the crowns, they get celebrated on stage. Nobody's celebrating them when they finish a bubble sheet, okay? Nobody's clapping or giving them a ribbon, right? We do that on Monday nights to celebrate, together, but it's the collective, like Sharon said, the collective of those. The excellence is actually in the boring. The excellence is in the day-to-day, details, the when I don't feel like it thing. So I'm hearing some background noise, but I think everybody's muted except me and Nikki. Oh, no, it's Cynthia, I think. We might need to mute that. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. Anyway, Nikki, where did you want to move next in our
Okay, I think since we just got back from seminar, let's have all of our seminar girls share that attended, and they've got a couple of takeaways. Because how many of you all had maybe a little bit of FOMO? Do y'all know what FOMO is? Fear of missing out. I've been there too, y'all. It's like, oh man, I wish I was there. And we want you there next year for sure. And we have something coming up in October to be at.
Okay.
So we're going to share a couple of nuggets and takeaways. So, and they've got I know Sharon has something huge on her finger. It might blind y'all. Look at that.
Wow.
Isn't that gorgeous?
It's way prettier in person. than the picture. And so is next year's. Next year's, I thought, I don't like that. It's too big. It's too gaudy. I put it on my hand, and I thought it'll fit right there. But yeah, just the detailing when they make our jewelry. I mean, I don't know exactly what the center stone is, but then there's two like light blue topaz that accents it here and here, and then the rest is just all diamonds. And somebody said this one's going to appraise for well over 2,000. So you decide, do you want $500 cash, or do you want a close to $2,000 ring? I'll take the ring, thank you.
It's gorgeous. We're
Let me
so
share a
proud.
couple of takeaways real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. That'll be
Kind
awesome.
of goes along with what she just said. And it was Diana Polanco or whatever.
Yes, Diana Polanco.
She said, without commitment, you will never start. And without consistency, you will never finish. Which I really like that, because, you know, you want to start and you want to finish, but if you don't have that commitment or consistency, it's not attainable. And then another one was Sonia Paez. She said, whatever you are looking for is most likely looking for you. In other words, if you're looking for sales, there's somebody looking for a Mary Kay lady. If you're looking for a team member, there's somebody looking for something extra, something more. And, you know, she said, so just leave no rock unturned. So. And then Patricia Turker, behind you are many people who will follow you. You just first have to lead. I thought both of those were cool.
That's awesome. Yep.
And then we had this lady that come out with a cupcake that was just as cute as a kitten and had everybody rolling in stitches, and everybody just loves this lady. But she covered a ton in a matter of a minute. But I loved your cupcake analogy. And then the back to school focus with erasers, glue, pencils, and the back to school backpack. I wrote all that stuff down. So I'm anxious to see how that unfolds and trying that idea myself. But yes, you did amazing. So everybody clap for Nikki. She was so cute. And she finished right on time. She did a phenomenal job. And I'll let you tell them what your topic is. I'm not going to take that away from you.
Well, it was totally outside my comfort zone. Thank you, Sharon, for saying those sweet, kind words, because whew, I was honored, but I was very glad it was over too, y'all. I'm not going to lie, because my topic was technology, and I have no idea why they selected me to teach it, but they did, and I tried my best, and your all's prayers made a huge difference. But it was about using the Mary Kay apps in social media, and that's the thing, guys. I mean, Jessica helped me a lot too with my talk. So thank you, Jessica, for your ideas. And but yeah, it went well, and it was pretty cool. So I'll post that picture on social media. But thank you, Sharon. You're too sweet. It was a dream that came true. I've always wanted to teach a seminar, and never in a million years it would have been this year, because usually they ask trip directors or people who did million. And we had a great year, but we didn't have our best year. So, but anyway, thank you, Lord. Okay, enough about me. Jessica, Stacy, who wants to go next?
I can.
All right.
So my main takeaway was when they were talking about growing confidence, and my 2 points came from Patricia Turker and then Kiwana Hollins. I'm pretty sure that's how you say her name. But Patricia said that you need to have the courage to start building your confidence at a young age. And I took that because I am younger, so I was like, well, I can start now and then I can just be rocking and rolling when I'm older. But then she was like, the best way to start that is to just ask, and asking questions can build your confidence. And then she said a quote from, I'm pretty sure it was from Mary Kay, that said, if you aim for the moon, but if you miss it, you'll still land in the stars or among the stars. And then Kiwana Hollins said this in regards to growing confidence, that you need to expect them to want to buy from you and expect that she wants to hear about the opportunity, but then also expect rejection and just keep going. And eventually, after you hear enough no's, you will get one yes. So, and then my other point is just the friendships you'll grow. I know I've gone twice now, and I've had different roommates each time, except for Sharon. Me and her, 2 years now, same room. But it's just amazing how you meet these new people, and then just a few days, you feel like you've known them forever.
Mm-hmm. Awesome,
That's
Jen.
all I got.
And I'm so proud of you that you had the wisdom to start Mary Kay at what, you were 19
Mhm.
and now you're 21. And, you know, just looking back when I was 19, when in Mary Kay, I'm so glad I did, because it truly has built my confidence and courage just by exactly what you said. And I'm so excited to see where you're going and how that's going to bloom. It's incredible, isn't it, guys, to see what her future holds, and you know just how it's going to impact your whole life, and being a wife one day and a mom. But starting Mary Kay so young is gonna, and a lot of women I run into, that's their regret. They wish they started sooner, but you can't say that.
Nope.
You're like, I did. I started when I was 19. But you know, it's God's timing for everybody. So we can't feel bad. It's in his timing for sure when we're in Mary Kay. But I'm thrilled you're with us. And hey, Sharon, those quotes, will you type those? I want those for something in the future. If you're able to type it in the chat, that'd be great. Okay, thanks, Jess. All right, Stacy.
Finding that mute button is always difficult when I need it. Patricia Tucker was probably my favorite speaker, I guess, of all the ones we heard. They were all good, but she just resonated with me. And she talked about having confidence. Confidence is key. And the way you get confidence is to ask questions about things you don't know and to practice. And the more knowledge you have, the more confident you'll be in what you're selling and what you're doing. And to be a role model for others around you and believe in yourself, and to make a decision, to set a goal and make it happen, to act on it. I really enjoyed hers. And the other one is Germany, really impressed upon me. I can't remember I can't say her last name, but Germany, Pierre, is that how you say it? But everybody's got an amazing story. Hers is an amazing story. Y'all really need to check her out. But everybody's got an amazing story. You just have to work to make it happen. You can have an amazing story too, but you got to put the work into it. Not setting what Netflix. She had to have her Netflix took away to get up off of her tail and work. So we make excuses. We don't put the work in, and we expect results. And if you got a dream and you go after it, you'll make it happen, and that'll be your amazing story.
Love that. Thank you, Stacy. Incredible. Okay. My main takeaway also was Germany, y'all, because 2.5 years ago, she was homeless. Her husband and her kids. They were in Haiti. They now live in Miami, Florida, or in the Miami area. But she came into Mary Kay. But for 2 months, she didn't really do anything. She just sat on her kid. It was under her bed. She didn't do anything. But then she finally got plugged in and started. She was watching Netflix on the couch, and her husband canceled it. Once they were homeless, but then when she got in Mary Kay, she wasn't working for a while. She was just addicted to Netflix. And so but anyway, she caught the big picture or the vision, and they had a need, and she This year her unit did 1,650,000 in sales. Y'all, that's almost 3 top director trips in 1 year. 650 is the trip. They did 1.6 million. Okay, she personally recruited 150 people herself. She was the queen of recruiting in the Diamond Seminar. And of course, from Haiti, having nothing, and then coming to America, the land of opportunity, she recruited all these Haitian women in the United States, and they built, like, she has 8 first line offspring. Okay, from those 8, she's built second line, third line, fourth line. They have 30 directors this past year. She is almost a national, and they are so hungry for this opportunity because literally they were able to buy their home. And her sweet little 4 and 5-year-old little boys was like, "Thank you, Mary Kay," with their beautiful Haitian accent. You know, Mary Kay changed our life. Because at one time they were on the streets and now they're living in their dream house. But one thing Germany told us is she does 7 Zooms a week. She does sometimes 3 a day. So she's working, but then she says, "I'm able to go to my kids' swim classes, do these other things for her children." So, you know, she's not all things to all people. I'm sure she's got some boundaries, but I'm just telling you, the hunger and the desire and the mission and the vision and the purpose, it was just so inspiring how hungry these women and men, she had a lot of male directors, probably 5 of them were men. And I'm just like, wow, you know, and I would encourage you to pray. Are you hungry? If not, ask God to give you a desire and a hunger to really go impact lives, because Mary Kay changed her life. She was telling it to everybody. So my second thing I took from seminar is it's not our job to worry about the outcome. Our job is to offer the sets to sell product, book future appointments, ask for referrals, and share the opportunity with everybody. And I don't care if it's a little 99-year-old mamaw, and you know she's not going to join Mary Kay, but you want to still tell her the facts because she might say, "Well, Nikki, how about talking to my granddaughter or this girl over here?" So we've got to just take out the emotion of rejection and just focus on sell, book, get referrals, and share the opportunity. That's our job description, right? To ask. And to do those 4 things, you have to ask, 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 ask. And by asking questions, like Stacy and Sharon and Jess said, what's going to grow that we talked about last week? The letter C. What was last week's word? Confidence. Because confidence, Germany wasn't building confidence watching Netflix. Germany's confidence came from in the asking, in the doing. Okay. So that's what I took away. Germany's, that whole emotional outcome that we saw. And then just thinking, Nikki, I just have to ask. I got to get over myself, over my insecurity, over what people think, over it all, and just care about that person and be like, hey, give her the options. It might be no, 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 no. But you know what I heard in a sales statistics class? It's hard for women to say no 3 times in a row. Usually the 4th or 5th time they'll say yes. So anyway, those were some of my huge takeaways. And also, you guys, Sharon and Jessica Roberts and myself, and many of you have already earned your bracelet and your charm, but we want to show y'all the charm. I meant to give Stacy's last night, but it was 2 a.m. and I forgot. I was so tired. But y'all, we'll be getting these. Jessica will be getting them, and we'll be dispersing the charms. But don't forget, you have to fill out the Google form and turn in the code word by 8 o'clock tomorrow night to get your bracelet, because we have an assistant tracking all this for us. Jessica and I can't keep track, but our assistant is doing that. So, okay. So the code word tonight, it's in the chat. Starts with an E. Excellence. Okay. So before Jess takes over the next part of our of our meeting tonight, we're going to do a little bit of Reco. This is something you want to blast on social media if you're not, y'all, that we're #1 for the second year in a row. And let's see, let me turn through here. Oh, here's seminar. Go ahead and mark your calendar. Jess, which seminar are you?
Diamond.
Okay. So you guys will arrive July 20th and through the 24th. My unit, we will arrive August 1st and we'll come home August 5th. Okay, so we're last next year. Okay. And my assistant forgot to update this last week, but anyway, way to go. This is who's already earned their charm and bracelet. Stacy, Vicky, Mary, Jessica, Sharon, Lynn, Christina, Candace, and many of y'all will earn it tonight. So that's exciting. And anybody earned their purse? I know I saw Stacy earned hers today. Sharon, myself, anybody else? You have until Wednesday to get your 700 wholesale order in. And don't forget the PCP has launched to enroll your customers in the fall holiday book. And who's excited about the products that are going to be in this magazine? It's 90 cents a customer, and you've got until August 17th to enroll. And we saw the products. We'll be posting them so you can check it out, and you want to enroll your customers. This is the Christmas book, y'all. It's worth the investment, okay? And mark your calendar. Our next event, October 4th, 5th, and 6th in Gatlinburg. We're joining Holly Lowe's area for their fall retreat, and everybody's welcome to come. And you guys, the makeover contest, I'm done with Star. I'm already at Ruby, but because I am focused, we'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, let me back up. We're going to have a mystery star party, right, Jess? And it's going to be so much fun. So you want to be a star, and by completing your 700, you will be solidly on target for star, okay? And thank you for turning in your accomplishment sheet, Stacy, Sharon, Mary, and Ashley. And thank you, Stacy, Vicky, Sharon, and Candace for filling out the weekly accountability Google form, okay? And then Sharon, Vicky turned in 1 booking, Sharon turned in 3, woo-woo! Faces, Vicky 1, Sharon 4, and Candace had 5 faces. Y'all, Candace is at seminar. She went by herself. Isn't that incredible?
You did.
Yeah. Anything you want to say, Jess, about Candace real quick?
I mean, you guys heard her share last week, and I just can't reiterate enough. I loved seeing, she sent me the cutest picture of her sitting at the baggage carousel in Dallas with the biggest smile on her face. And, you know, she shared last week about her smile, and all her beautiful teeth are showing. And I just love that we talked about confidence last week. And I was telling Nikki today, the Candace who was texting me a year ago is not the same Candace that was sitting at the baggage carousel going to seminar by herself. So she's not by herself. She is actually with a group. There's a director in Chattanooga named Jane Davis, who's a $500,000 director. She's amazing. She was actually a homeschool mom. And so Candace is also a homeschool mom friend of mine. And so they went together. So just so proud of her. And then she really busted it this week with her faces before she left. So way to go, Candace.
Yay, Candace. Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, and I just read Sharon's comments. Let me show you what we earned. Okay, so this is my reward. This is the triple star necklace, and this is for 5 years worth. But you guys, because of your excellence, and we did the $450,000 unit club, the inside of these, I got these two for free or as my gift this year. So I need to wear this more. I never wear it on the meeting, but I'm going to start wearing it because it's so gorgeous. And y'all, this is real diamonds. All this is real. Like when it completely gets filled up, this necklace will be valued at around $25,000. Can you believe that? Isn't it crazy? And then I picked up from personally recruiting a diamond bumblebee. So Sharon got the big honking ring and I got this and this. So it's so fun. And you can pick up diamonds too next year, y'all. So, and you're on your way. This is a stepping stone, right, guys? This is your stepping stone. Okay. Let's see here. So we don't have a queen of sales or, oh, sorry, y'all, to this week or any of that. But what we're going to talk about will help. But last week, team 3 came in first place, team 2 came in second place, and team 1 came in third place. So congratulations to our teams. And then individual, Sharon earned gold, and Stacy, Ashley, Christina, and Vicky all earned silver for individual awards. So awesome, awesome. And then the month ends Wednesday, y'all, and you can see July can be a weird month because there's so many trips and vacations, but neither units are near its goal, but we still have time. So by you working your business and ordering and team building, it will really help our units finish our goals, okay? And I'm booking through this makeover contest, y'all. And again, I'm not worried about the yes or the no. My focus is the process, like Emily talked about. She talked about the boring. You know, we do boring well. All we got to do is ask, ask, ask. Okay. And tomorrow night, I'll be doing bingo. Y'all are all welcome. It'll be on YouTube. I'll send that link out tonight or in the morning, and your guests are welcome to watch and play. So I'm going to turn it over to Jessica because we're going to have a similar week as last week. So, Jess, I've talked enough. You want to talk?
I think we both do a good job taking turns with that. Oh, goodness. And I just loved hearing everybody's seminar takeaways. I was literally stalking all of your Facebook and Boxers. Nikki was like, check the Boxer group. I'm like, which one? So I'm digging through trying to find pictures. Anyway, I may or may not stay in Mary Kay just so that I can wear a beautiful gown every year. So that is my I personality. I wanted to know for sure, but I know that I was here for a reason this year, but dying to not be there with Candace for sure. The R3 tour was actually like my most fascinating. I love that video. I was like, oh, can I be with you? Show me more. I just loved it. So congratulations to all of you who made the decision to go because like Nikki just said a minute ago, these are all stepping stones to success. You don't get to excellence, which is our word of the week, excellence. You don't get to a level of excellence if you're not willing to do the stepping stones along the way. Okay. So, like the meeting bracelet, it's a little trinket, but you know what? It represents the fact that you showed up for yourself and showed up for your business and showed up to learn. And maybe even sometimes you don't enjoy hearing Nikki and I talk, and it might be boring to you. And so maybe you're doing boring well by showing up at the meetings. Bless your heart. So thank y'all for coming and listening to us. But the thing that I wanted to talk about this week, last week we talked about sharing. Okay. And we talked a little bit about the first stepping stone or level to figuring out how to share about the Mary Kay story, because that's a big component of our income, right? Nobody ever has to share the opportunity of Mary Kay. And aren't we glad for that? That's not how we make our money necessarily, but it is an avenue of income or a stream of income that is available to you. And the way that I tell people about it is that sales is like addition, and team building is like multiplication. And the way I think about it is, I'm here in the Eastern time zone, but I have consultants that have been all the way in Alaska and Hawaii and, California, whatever. They're doing parties while I'm asleep. That is the best way of multiplication that I can think of. People working while I'm asleep, right? And it's a team. So sharing is not a have to, but it is something Mary Kay Ash asked us to do, to pass it on. Okay. So last week we issued 2 challenges. One was to build your why story. Go ahead and give a little wave if you submitted your why story, your I story this week. Some people say why story, some people say I story. Great job, Christina, Vicky. Anybody else do that this week? Great. Well, guess what? Have you ever heard of the phrase raise the bar or raising the bar? Raise your hand, give a little wave if you've heard that. Okay. Well, what does raising the bar mean? So, this whole Olympic theme we have going on, it comes from the sport of pole vaulting. Okay. Pole vaulting. So in pole vaulting, and y'all, I am not an athlete, so don't look to me for athletic advice. Okay. But that's why I'm so fascinated by Emily's talk. But in pole vaulting, right, you have the person who runs, they take the pole and they fling themselves up over the what? The bar. So do they start with the bar at the highest possible level? No. And what they do is they have to master the bottom level before they can move on, right? Or they're going to injure themselves. It's not going to be cute, right? And so, what you have to do if you're going to learn to share, there's a reason behind all these challenges we're issuing, and it's because we are setting the bar. And some of you are rising to the occasion of doing that. And some of you, it takes a little longer. And you know what? That's okay, because we have to cross the hurdles in order. This is a strange developmental childhood thing, but children have to develop. Development is linear. You can't skip things. You have to develop skills along the way. It's the same for us as consultants. You have to start by knowing, why did you start Mary Kay, and being able to tell people your own story to then progress to an interview guide. How many of you, Nikki, will you throw that up for me, that interview guide? How many of you saw the copy of this interview guide and wanted to vomit? Raise your hand. Any of you wanted to vomit? Did you read it? Did you see it? Okay. Vicky, I love your honesty. I think Vicky and we've never met in person, but I'm pretty sure we're the same person. Okay. So, Vicky has seen this interview guide. How many of you have ever used it before? If you're in my unit, you've seen it before. Okay. So this interview guide, and you may have seen Nikki refer to it as an interview guide. This is a tool. We've talked a lot about our tools, right? This is a tool to help you be able to share with people who you would like to pass on the Mary Kay business to. I heard Nikki say, it's not our job to worry about outcomes. So we have to take out the emotion of rejection and share with everyone, because again, we don't pre-decide what is for. Aren't you glad that somebody didn't pre-decide about you? That, Nikki, you're too young and your skirt's too short for me to share Mary Kay with you. I remember you telling me that story. I'm so glad that somebody didn't prejudge me. I was a stranger on the street, really, when I met my consultant. I had a 1-year-old. I was going to graduate school. Maybe they would have prejudged me. Think about your story and plug that in. Aren't you so glad that somebody didn't prejudge you? So when we look at this interview guide, and why we call it an interview guide is because when we share Mary Kay with somebody, it's going to be much more compelling if you learn about her. Because if Jessica Roberts starts sharing her story with somebody and she goes into a 30-minute monologue about the R3 manufacturing tour, this poor lady she's interviewing is probably gonna want to be done, right? That would not be doing boring well. Okay, Jessica, I'm just picking on you. I hope you have a great sense of humor. So what we want to do, if you'll notice, is step one. First of all, you would fill all this stuff out. Okay. Consultant comments, that would be something you want to let your director know how you met this person. Like, is she your second cousin twice removed? Like, I need to know these things. So write some little comments. How did you meet her? She's the girl at Krispy Kreme in the drive-thru. I don't know. So step one, our agenda. So I would get together with somebody. I would maybe finish a facial and say, well, you know what? I actually have about 10 more minutes and I'm in a challenge with my unit to share about the Mary Kay story. And I need some practice. Would you be willing to take 5 to 10 minutes so that I can practice with you? Okay, she'll probably say yes. And if she seems hesitant, offer her a goodie. I don't know, a sample or a something. Carry some chocolates with you. It'll be great. So what then when she says yes, which she will, and I loved that thing, expect rejection, but also expect success, that they will say yes to you, right? So either one you're prepared for. And some will say no, and that's okay. But the Lord has already given you some people to influence, and it's your job to figure out who they are. Okay. So, first, you want to tell people what to expect. And this applies to when you're doing a presentation, when you're teaching, when you're doing something. People feel much more comfortable if they know what to expect. Okay. So, you're going to tell them. So, first, I'm going to ask you to tell me a little bit about yourself so I can get to know you better. I'll tell you a little bit about me and my Mary Kay journey. That's where you would insert your I story or your why story from last week. And if you haven't done that, that's your challenge again this week. We're keeping the bar here because you haven't pole vaulted over that one yet. So do your I story and then you can move on to step two. So you need to record your 2-minute elevator pitch I story. And that's where you would insert that, because if you've got 10 minutes with her, only 2 minutes should be about you. Or even less, right? If it's that much time. So then I'll share some facts about our Mary Kay career and answer any questions you might have. And then because we've done the other 4, and because it's my job to ask, I'll ask if you'd like to work with me. And so I always just laugh a little bit there. So it's not, and I'll ask you if you'd like to work with me. Oh, you don't freak out. You just practice saying this. Try saying it in front of the mirror. Try boxing yourself saying this so you don't sound robotic. Some people fumble over their words a little bit more, and that's okay. It just means you have more practice. Remember, it's like that bar. You've got to pole vault yourself over that by continuing to step on top of your own success. So then I'll say, okay, tell me about yourself. What she'll do is she'll start talking. Now, the things she starts talking about next will tell you a lot about her. If she's a quick decision maker, and she is very dominant person, she's going to talk about her career or her achievements. That's going to be first. If she starts talking about her family and her home and her kids, she's an S personality, or somebody who's that steady, rock steady, amazing person that might be a little slower to make decisions, but she might stay with you for life. Okay. If she starts, if she goes, well, what do you want to know exactly? I need more details. She's probably Christina Castellanova. She's laughing, I'm sure. I can't see her right now, but I'm sure she's laughing. She's a C personality and she wants to know, what are the details? What do you want to know? And so then she'll give you very detailed things. And then I'm trying to think which one I left out. The I personality, she will not stop talking. Okay. So then what do you like best about what you do? So you might want to lead and say, well, what do you do for your career? What do you like best about it? What would you change, if anything? What do you need most in your life right now? And this is a great question. People don't often stop to think, but this is, if we are sitting down with a woman and telling our I story. Our I story might be like this beautiful Haitian woman who just won the Queen of Everything at seminar. Her need, y'all, was money. They needed money. Okay. And I love too what Nikki shared. You got to take out the emotion of rejection. What takes out the emotion of rejection? Need. Your need takes out the emotion of rejection, because if you need something bad enough, that emotion of rejection is like, well, oh, well, it doesn't matter because they're not paying my bills. So let's go. So this might be, what do you need most in your life right now? It may not be income. She may have, like the person who led me, Priscilla McFeeters, she was an executive, a motivational speaker with a 6-figure income. She did not need money. She drove a Jaguar. She didn't need a free car either. You know what she needed? Flexibility. She needed time with her child. She was only home a week out of a month, and her baby was growing up without her there. And so she needed flexibility. So she was willing to work hard to do that. Well, you don't know unless you ask about her story and what she needs most right now. And then where would you like to see yourself 5 years from now? Some people can't think 5 years ahead. Maybe you change that to 3. Or a question I like to ask is, if time or money were not an object, what dream would you be living 1 year from now? If time or money were not an object, what dream would you be living 1 year from now? Okay, so that's a way you could edit that question. And you might want to make a little note for your director if you change that. That's okay. And then you get to tell your little I story. I'll tell you about myself and love and why I love what I do. Now, here's where this is important. You have already built your I story. Okay. Your I story is going to be, I have several different ones, because if I'm talking to a D personality about how I'm staying at home with my 7 kids, that is not what she wants to hear. What she wants to hear is the income potential, be your own boss, those things that are going to appeal to her. Okay. If she's a person who's working her tail off at corporate, but she desires to be home with her kids, I'm going to tell her the homeschool flexibility story. Okay. But you wouldn't know which version of that to highlight, because it's all true, but which version of that to fit in 2 minutes unless you've asked about her. So then you say, if I only had about 5 minutes to share some facts with you about a Mary Kay career, what would you want to know? This is another thing that tells you about her personality, right? Another thing it's going to tell you is she really interested? When I do an interview, I want to find out the answer to 2 questions. Does she really want to do this and needs more information? Or does she really just not want to do this? And she could be a talent scout for you. Okay. This is the question that will probably help you determine that. If I only had about 5 minutes to share some facts with you about a Mary Kay career, what would you want to know? If she goes, how much do you have to buy to stay a consultant? That is not a winner story. Okay. She's asking about minimums. Okay. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's telling you something about her. Where does she view herself? If she's asking sky is the limit questions or where is the floor questions. Okay. If she's asking, well, do you get training? Where do you learn how to do this? I don't know anything about makeup or skincare. How would I learn? Those are good questions, right? This is as much, friends, for you to find out if you really want to invest in her as it is for, finding out if this is a good fit, right? So think about it that way too. You are offering her a beautiful gift, and she may not recognize that yet, but you want to know if you want to work with her too. So then here's just some great things. You want to double check these to make sure that they're, like, for example, this says $100 gets you started. We know that we have an updated form of that where we have a different option. So you want to make sure that we are still kind of in the right range for things here, but these marketing plan points, no territories or quotas, golden rule, that's all still the same, right? So you're going through this. Some qualities we look for in a team member. Which of these, you could ask her, which of these sounds most like you? and you can have her start putting herself in that frame of mind. So then after you've gone through and did that answer all your questions, or do you still have another question? Because sometimes she really will have another question. Another thing I like to say either at the beginning or somewhere in here is, because we've done the other 4, I'll ask you if you'd like to work with me, and it may not be for you at all, and that is totally okay. But it's my job as a professional recruiter for Mary Kay to share this information, because you may know someone who I don't know who this would be a benefit to. So you can be a talent scout for me too, and it might sound like someone, so then you're taking it away from her a little bit too, which is a good thing. I think Nikki talked about that recently. Okay, so then step 4. Hypothetically, if you were to consider doing this, what are your personal strengths and why would you be good? Okay, this is the time where she's telling you which things she'll be great at, or she's telling you her confidence level, and she may take what we call layering. Okay, somebody might not do this sheet with you and go, yes, I want to do it right now. This is a layer. Okay. And then with the proper training, do you feel that you could learn to do what I do? Have any other questions? And then you can ask the question at the end if you have the confidence to ask it. Is there any reason why you wouldn't want to work with me? Okay, that's a great question. Another way, and Nikki, you can go ahead and close that for me. Another way that I like to close it is by saying, you could do A, B, or C, which was on the recruiting form for Mary Kay. A, I'm ready to get started, very excited. You could do A, B, or C. What I like to do is a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. 10 is I'm ready to sign my agreement right now. It's $35. I want to complete my agreement and get started, right? What do I have to lose? 1 is I would not start a Mary Kay business. Even if I were starving and naked, I'd rather pick up cans on the side of the road than start Mary Kay. All right. So that always makes them laugh. And then 5 is a chicken number, so you can't pick 5. I tell them that. And so then they have to pick on a scale of 1 to 10. So then let's say they tell you 4. Okay, well, Susie, what made you pick 4 instead of a 1 or a 2? And so then she'll tell you the thing that may have sparked her interest, but maybe it's not the right time. So then you know where to build that layer and come back to. You don't throw away these sheets. You keep these. And then you go back when you're trying to finish quarter sharing at the end of the year. You go back when you're trying to do 8 out of the gate and you have 7 and you need 1 more. Hey, Susie, I'm so excited. I remember you said you're at a 4. You can go back and reference things that she said. She tells you she's a 7. Okay, why did you say a 7 instead of like a 4 or 5? And then she'll tell you, okay, great. Well, then you have a chance to do what we call overcome objections. Okay. And that's a whole other tool and training that we have to get to. But then you will know what her objections are. It's usually going to be time. Sometimes it'll be money, but it's usually going to be time. Okay. Or it's not a good season for her. She doesn't have time, or it's not a good season. And we have great ways of overcoming those objections. But when you give these to your director, they'll be able to work through these and talk through these sheets with good notes and help build your skill in the area of team building, because you'll be able to look at these and go, oh, okay, our goal is for you to be able to do these yourself. Okay, so that you can share these with women after an appointment with every person. If you're doing a facial, or ask at your parties, hey, I have a goal to get 10 of these filled out this week. Would you take 10 minutes on the phone with me? Okay, and sometimes it may take 30, if she talks a lot or whatever. But if you get that I story narrowed down, that's how you can team build. Okay, so this week, your challenge is to finish your I story or Y story. Vicky made a face. Uh-oh, y'all. I don't think she's excited about this challenge. Vicky, I can't wait to meet you in person, because I feel like I have one of those faces that you're just going to know what I think. You're just going to know what I think. I have heard it say, it's not my mouth, it's a problem, it's my face. You're going to know how I'm feeling about it. So your job this week to be a woman of excellence, your bar is set at finishing your Y story or your I story. This should be a quick 2-minute elevator pitch that fills in that question of, Let me tell you a little bit about myself and my Mary Kay journey. Okay, so you're going to do that this week. And Nikki, I think this would be a great thing for you and I to do, is for us to tell our quick I story as an example and put it in the group. So I'll work on that too. And so that's level 1. That's going to get you a point doing your I story. If you already did your I story last week, pick a personality type and do a different I story that you're presenting yourself in a different light. If you did one that was more to a corporate person, pretend you're sitting in front of a person who just retired from her job, or a mom of 5 kids, and tell your story like you were talking to her. Pretend. It's a little bit of team building. And then your next way of earning points is to fill out an interview guide with one of your customers, family member. You get a point for every interview guide that is turned in to your director. You just print these out or write notes on it, and send a picture of it to your director, and you get a point, because our desire is to follow up with them and help you learn the skill of, overcoming rejection, overcoming their different objections, and help you learn how to share, and continue growing this side of your business, because it can help multiply your success. All right, Nikki, that's about all I have for tonight.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Right?
Okay, so great job, Jessica, going through all that. Does anybody have a question? Are we all clear as mud? Clear as Sprite, clear as water, right? Okay, on what to do. And I just want to encourage you to do it afraid. Jump in there and try. That was smart, Jessica, because I know Vicky, Ashley, and Christina did their why stories, but have them share it with, like you said, pretend it's a grandma or a stay-at-home mom. How would you tweak it? That's good. Okay. Anybody have a question? And as you saw, Lynn Buchanan got the Secret Sister Award. They said your background is bright so they can see your face well. Your jewelry and your jacket is super cute.
Oh,
So,
well, thank you. But I was late because I came in from getting my hair trimmed and my eyebrows waxed, and I got home and I was like, she almost waxed off this eyebrow.
oh no.
I was like trying to get that fixed. So,
Well, I'm glad you have brow tools if you need to fill it in. You know the girl to go to, don't you?
Yikes. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Well, I'm just so proud of you guys. And I just want to tell you, this is one of those things that is a little bit scary, but that's where that poem comes in. Maybe She Needs Me. And I'll share that in the chat, or not in the chat, in your Pink Olympics group this year, or this week, as a thing that you can take with you, as you're overcoming the emotion, the negative emotion. It's not your job to have her say yes. It's your job to pass it on. Mary Kay didn't ask you to go and make the whole world Mary Kay consultants, because the bottom line is they're just not going to be. But it is your job to offer, and it's their job to decide if it's their thing or not. And you're just being as good as you can as a consultant to do justice to the story. And maybe you're planting a seed for her later that you will not be able to reap a harvest of until later. But I'm really proud of you guys for learning this. It's a big hurdle. But you can
Yes.
do it.
Who's excited to take action? You can do it. Action cures
do it.
fear, right? You're courageous. And we're here to support you every step of the way. So please try to communicate this week with your director, have a conversation, tell us what's going on. Is this going good? Is this not going good? Don't be afraid to speak up, y'all. You will get farther along by being open and honest about these challenges. because that's how we can support you. So remember, all healthy relationships take communication. So we can't wait to hear how it's going. Okay.
I thought of one more way to earn a point because this
Okay.
is another level. Because I can see the wheels turning in people's heads going, I'm not doing this interview guide. I can see it. We started with a list of 50 women. I want you to go back to that list of 50 women. I want you to select 10 women on that list that in the event they said yes, you would be so excited that they joined your team. Go down that list and put a little heart around whoever you would just go to the moon to work with. Okay? Send us a picture of your list of 10, and that will be a point. And that gives you a place to start with these interview guides.
That's great. Thank you. It's a good place to start. So awesome. We love you guys and have a great night. And we can't wait to hear from you every day.